Guten Abend. Hello from Düsseldorf. With me, literally with me, is Günther, Minty Vinyl. Günther has a record shop here in Düsseldorf, and he goes to Den Bosch. And as we are all, or almost all, going to Den Bosch, it makes sense that we do a pre-Den Bosch video where we discuss the largest record fair in the world. And I promise you, you will see records you probably didn't know they exist. Günther brought some stuff with him that he also has on his booth. We talk about Günther's philosophy as a record dealer. And of course, we go into your questions if you have any. And maybe as a little warm up, Günther, show us 1, 2, 3 records that people can get at your booth in Den Bosch.
We start with something you all know. Radiohead, well-known band from the UK, late 90s. This is a second LP in mint condition. I'll show you again. And what makes this really, really interesting is it is the first UK pressing. And for this little detail, here it is the blank space and it is missing the artwork here. Normally the 10% has to be here. What makes this really hard to find and really expensive.
Expensive means?
800 to 900 euro.
Wow. Yeah, but those are, this is something I've learned more and more and more also through my contacts I have with the OBC, that sometimes it's really about those details, right? It's about the condition that makes the price, but it's not only the matrix number that counts. It's also this special details that really identifies this as the very first pressing, correct?
Yes, correct. This started for long decades with bands like Beatles, Rolling Stones, that it was really important for the collectors to have the first press matrix, A1 and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But now bands I grow up with as a young man are getting now legally collected by serious collectors who now have the money. And they also wanted the first UK pressing. And then they are not focused on Rolling Stones, Beatles, Pink Floyd. They say, I grow up with
Nirvana, Radiohead. Yeah, right.
Look at Nirvana, Nevermind, the first US pressing. And I mean, a really first US pressing is now, I think, also 1,000. And it is a major label release from Geffen Records. And but important is it must be a first pressing. And then it is not VG or VG Plus. It is near mint to mint. That's
what the people want.
Yeah.
At least at fairs at Den Bosch was my impression that the real serious stuff, this really expensive stuff, they buy it over there, right? This is what goes there and what attracts a lot of collectors to Den Bosch, that you get these stuff over there, and not only, let's call it the dollar bin records, right?
Yes. Both happened in Den Bosch, in my opinion. For me, it's important you can find records and you have them in your hand and you can decide for yourself. We have the VG Plus range. I normally collect from VG Plus to near mint, but there are a few issues a record can have where somebody says it's VG to VG Plus, but I can live with this. Other people say, when it is mint but has a seam split, it is not mint, but then I don't want it. So you have it in your hand, you can decide for yourself, is it worth 100 euro, 200 euro, is this the collection I want?
That's a huge advantage.
Does it satisfy me?
Yeah. And what kind of collector are you? The one, it has a seam split, I don't want, or you decide this by case by case in a way?
I decide this by case by case, because I collect or I'm looking for records that are really hard to find. And then I have always the thought, when I don't buy it yet, I have to wait maybe 5 years. Or is it satisfying to buy it now? Is the price okay? Or will it in this time go up and double the price? I had this with the Misfit 7-inch I was looking for as a young man, and $150 30 years ago was impossible for me. 10 years ago, I don't had $500, and at the end now it's 3,500, and I say, I missed
Damn
it.
it.
I missed it.
Now you decided that's it for me.
So
I'm out.
so you get a feeling, should I react now or better not, or buy it now or not? Yeah.
Another question I have, last year, I also was there on Friday and I was there on Saturday. How do you handle, what is the main difference between the Friday and the Saturday, and how do you handle those 2 days as a dealer?
On my booth, personally, I have my overstock. I always sell cheap records. That is not, they are not cheap because the music is bad. They are cheap because they have a minimal defect, or I have too many copies in my shop. Or
You're talking Friday now,
yeah,
right?
Friday. And then I have like 10 euro bins on my booth, and you can grab it, and mostly people, sellers buy it to sell it in Spain or in South America. Because I give them away cheap, I have an overstock, I don't need them anymore. And right after that, I have place on my table and I put the Rarity records on it.
For the Saturday then,
For
or late Friday?
No, for Saturday.
For Saturday.
Then I open my wall, hang the rarities. Some of them I will show later on the wall, and get in contact with serious collectors. Because for me, it was like, make it cheap or make it really, really interesting or expensive. The medium, the middle, you can find everywhere. In a good record shop, you can find it. So it is on a fair where 700 sellers have large booth stalls. You don't have to be boring. You have to be attractive. You have to show something they keep in mind.
That's so true, because if you can say something about Dan Bosch, then that it is overwhelming in a way.
Yes. And as a young collector or as a starter, I give you the advice, focus on something. Maybe 5, 6, 7 records you have in mind, you want to find. Make yourself a price range, because otherwise you go totally crazy. It is, you see everything, you see things for prices you cannot believe.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Because when I was at Dan Bosch with Stunty, and Stunty really got through the records, I bought a lot. I bought a lot of stuff I loved, but the records I was looking for, I didn't see. Boards of Canada, I didn't see.
Yeah, but
Kraftwerk, I got a Kraftwerk copy, but I didn't see, at least not in the way I liked it.
Yeah, but don't want to be too personal, but you are not really into fairs, and you have no experiences for 20 or 30 years.
That's totally
true.
So
this is what I say. Yeah. I go over there, I see this is a private seller. Maybe he has a good price range because he does not pay taxes. Maybe he wants to get rid of his stuff soon or fast or whatever. Then I see, oh, this is a really, really good seller, professional. He has always good stuff. So I go to this booth and to this, and I talk with them a day before in the hotel. So I know when I need Boards of Canada or FX Twin, I know I have to visit these stores.
Yeah, of course. So this, of course, helps. And I think I can imagine, as I know you, you're from people here from my channel, and they are at Dan Bosch. You will answer questions when they come to you and ask, Günther, where do you think, where can I find good first German pressings?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, cool.
When you have the chance to meet me, because I'm digging around and buying for myself.
At least on the Friday, right? Or the whole time?
When I have the chance, I leave my store to buy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't forget that. Günther is first and foremost also a very serious record collector with an really unbelievable collection. And more record collector or more record seller? What would you say? or both?
First of all, I try to be a listener.
Mm.
That should not sound cheesy, but I always try to focus back on it's the music. I want to listen to this, and so my intentions and my feelings are a collector, but I make it for a living, so it's not a lie. But so I make deals, but I think I have not the choice. I have no other work to do, so I have to do this for a living, actually. But yeah, my heart beats for collecting records, listening to good music, and I'm really interested in rare records, things I've never seen in 25 years, or talk about this in price ranges. It's interesting to me. I don't know why, but
before we got into the second record, Günther showed that to me, and I didn't believe it. I promised you something really, really, really. Now, obscure is the wrong word, but something really rare, really
and authentic.
And authentic, exactly. Yeah. But before we go into it, this is a typical question from the gallery. I like those. Günther, greatest live show you have ever seen?
Wow. I've seen hundreds of shows. Many were impressive, but seeing the latest lineup of Sun Ra, I expected nothing, because Sun Ra actually died, and Marshall Allen is now guiding a bunch of really great jazz musicians. I expected nothing, and I saw them in a little social club in Wuppertal.
Okay.
Performing, and there were as much musicians as people in the audience.
Spectators, okay.
And I was like, wow, does this work? I love Sun Ra, I collect Sun Ra, does this work? And it was unbelievable.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
It was unbelievable. The other were more in my youth. I come from punk and independent music, and there are many to talk about, but this was an impression back from the days, a few months before the pandemic. So this was, yeah.
The Sun Ra Orchestra.
The Sun Ra Orchestra.
Without Sun Ra.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sun Ra too?
No. I was too late started to understand what he is doing and loving it. Yeah.
Can that be? Just receive a package from Günther when the live stream started. Thanks, Günther. You never know.
Yeah, I hope you're happy with it. Otherwise, keep it as a secret.
Okay, now Günther will show a record. Just show it. Maybe I want to know if someone of you knows this record. Anybody? Okay, now tell the story. Tell the story, please.
Yeah, the Shacks were a band from the United States in the late 60s. They were three sisters from a Mormon family without social or cultural education and influences, no radio, no TV. And her father dreamt that God said to him, your three little girls, accompanied by her fourth sister, who is not on the cover, will be the greatest band on earth, bigger than everything else before. So he bought for her daughters equipment.
Expensive equipment,
yeah. Arranged studio time with a producer, and yeah, actually this is for most one of the worst records ever. They cannot play anything. They made the text, the lyrics themselves. It is so strange and maybe long forgotten, but Frank Zappa decided that this is the most authentic record ever made because it came from nowhere. It came from no influences. And he said it is the most important record in the world. Then some really serious collector tried to get or find it, but this was nearly impossible even back in the days. I talk about the late 70s, because the producer tried to destroy the whole pressing because his name was on it. And he was like, what the fuck am I doing with this record? But the father kept 90 copies, maybe 100, and gave it away to his Mormon friends in the church they were in. I don't know exactly. So this is 90 copies from the early 60s. This is a top condition record. It's not near mint. The record has one hairline or a slightly scratch, but it plays perfect. It is unbelievable hard to find. My price is also unbelievable. That's the reason why I still hold this, because I had a lot of offers, but I said no. And yeah, you will see it at my stall in
Goes, name the price, please.
Okay, I'm expecting something around 7,500 euros.
Yeah, but you know, we are talking 90 copies.
Yeah.
Frank Zappa loved Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain, yeah. You told me.
Yeah. Also, I forget about this Kurt Cobain. He was really into outsider music. He loved also half Japanese, or Daniel Johnston, the autistic guy, and he said also this is true. This is true music. There is no intention behind this to fake or fail or something. It is, but I listened to this with my wife. I listened one time alone, and after one side, I was like, okay. But then I tried it again with my wife, and she had her eyes wide open, like, what? This is what it's all about? This is what your collector's dream? Okay.
Yeah, but maybe as a musician, maybe Angelo Kelly is see, I knew it. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that a musician is very interested in this. Yeah, we are talking late 60s. We're talking about a totally uninfluenced group of girls in a Mormon family that suddenly makes a record, and you have 90 copies of it.
Mm.
I mean, this is a collector's item for sure.
I think it is a piece of art or a cult object. I'm really open-minded. I'm listening to experimental music, to free jazz and stuff like that. But for me, just my opinion, I cannot stand the whole record. It is funny, and at the moment it is something. Sometimes it's even a little bit catchy or but in the whole thing, it's really amateurish and childish. They sing about food. Where is food? Bring, and it's like.
So like the advertisement from the 60s. But I think this is a perfect example of how deep and obscure collecting can get and can go, right?
I think what stands behind this is also a genre that is not really popular. It's real people music. It's a genre where people collect stuff that tries to be uninfluenced by culture or something like that, giving really true emotions and feelings. And this is what lacks most of today's music. If you have superstars or there is a machinery behind them, they cannot laugh or make a picture without that 10 people say, no, this looks better, you need more makeup, and this is for real. This is what it is all about. They had an idea, they tried it, and they back in the days failed, but they were for real, and this is what I like behind it. But yeah, for me, this is not the right record to keep. Otherwise, I
would keep it, right? Yeah. Where did you get it, if I may ask?
Yeah, a seller I know had the luckiest punch in his life. He scored one of the biggest collections maybe I ever heard about, and I had the chance to come early and pick some stuff.
Okay.
And there were early US psychedelic records like The Stack or a lot, CA Quintet. And I had the chance.
A German collector or?
Seller.
A German seller, but the collection was not from Germany.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was from Germany. It was a once in a lifetime collection, and I was lucky to pick up some stuff. But to be honest, all people before me didn't grab this one, and I bought it on a record fair in Düsseldorf.
See?
I was like, oh, It's
But
still here. Oh,
you knew about this record. You know.
yes,
You
yes,
knew
yes,
about,
yes,
okay.
yes. I
Okay.
also had it on my want list. But,
Okay.
But it was like, this was for a long time again that I had this feeling like, what the fuck is going on? This is it. The price tag was also
serious.
I will not talk about it. It was really serious.
Okay.
I have to go back home and back to the bank and try to. It was not cheap, but it was like, wow.
Okay.
So here it is. Yeah.
Finally.
Finally.
Okay. This is Nadine from Cologne, but she's from Cologne, but she's really nice.
Hello,
And
Nadine.
She also has a nice, great YouTube channel about disco, funk, and soul music. Günther, are you also looking for soul records or disco or funk?
No,
Nadine.
Sorry.
But Nadine, I can imagine that because Nadine is also coming to Den Bosch, you can also tell her, oh, go to this booth. Maybe you get lucky over there, right?
Yeah, I have just a small section, like 10 or 15 soul records, but all really seriously expensive or really strange or really mostly private pressings. So I can show you some, but it's not I have no knowledge about it, and I don't listen to soul. This is one of my weak points.
You know this young man, Stanti?
Hey, Santi.
Yeah, okay. So, no questions right now. Yeah, Nadine, we will go to Günther, no doubt about that. Right, Andrew, you have to go to Cologne for soul. Come, show another record. Come, you have such amazing stuff here.
Here we have High U Percussion Group. Also, it is a soul jazz record. Also, maybe we can talk about real people music because it was a youth club in Harlem where young, in this case, young black people were educated to music without any knowledge. They picked them up on the street and made this record, which is really, really beautiful, going in a spiritual soul jazz way. Amazing artwork.
Yeah.
It was released by the ESP label. This is a second pressing with a colored cover. The real first pressing is not so high on demand, but even more expensive. It is black and white with typography. But this one is high on demand because of...
From which year is this one? You know that?
Also 60...
60s.
Wait. You got me on the wrong neck.
No, that's no problem.
I think it's 68.
Look at the label. I show the label. See, this is a nice label. Beautiful. Günther, you never told me about real people music. So they grab some kids from the street.
Yeah. It was a social worker project because they want to give them any ideas. Yeah, the criminal rate were high, and So they try to get them off the street. Many of the people may be poor, or there was also I don't know.
So what do you think? How many copies did they do at the time? Any idea? Any rumors floating around?
I have no serious idea, but I think not more than 500, maybe 1,000. There are two pressings. The black and white was first. This is second. Yeah, ESP has seriously great releases and musicians like Pharoah Sanders. Too many to mention. Amazing stuff. I will let this go because it is too much soul and too much drumming for my taste.
See, but that's funny, right? I didn't know that this is a soul record. And Nadine asked for it, and no, I'm not into it. By the way, I have a very rare
selling, yes, but yeah.
Okay. Angelo, some of the early blues field recordings are in a way real people music. Okay.
This is where it, in my opinion, all comes from. If you see Jack White from White Stripes, or even the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, everybody picked up some good ideas, the Delta blues or the early blues. musicians had, and yeah.
As Liam is also part of the group that comes to Den Bosch on Friday. He comes from Liverpool.
Hi, Liam.
You will meet him probably. He's looking for Court of the Crimson King, German first. Good chances in Den Bosch to get one, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is not impossible. I had one 2 years ago. I think this is not so hard to find, even in near Germany, in the Netherlands. So.
Jason Rojas comes from America, also will be joining us, as also a great YouTube channel. Very serious collector.
Okay.
Very serious. And he bring interesting topic in a way. He will bring records with him.
Yeah.
For trade. This is also not a bad idea, right? Sometimes for dealing, if it's really interesting stuff. Let's say he comes from the United States.
Yes.
For you, US originals might be more interesting than Netherlands or German and vice versa, right? This is not a bad idea to do this, right?
Definitely, this is a super good. I think there is one problem if you come to a stall and want to trade. The guy behind the booth is always on top, like, okay, maybe with the prices right. So find out who is really trustful, with whom you can trade on a fair range. As a professional, or as a reseller, you always have to make some, what it is called. You have to be make some money on top. You know, I cannot trade 100 to 100. I need to make 120 or something like that. But if as a collector, if you have something I want, I can trade, and I prefer trading rare stuff.
I can imagine, right?
And if you bring me the right Sunras, you can pick up everything I have.
Günther is extremely, as a collector now. Now as a collector, has an unbelievable Sunra collection. We should do a video about this.
Hopefully, yes.
Impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. Wait, I have seen a question here. JBL Frank. Do some of the extremely rare blue 78s ever show up at Den Bosch?
I haven't seen or recognized this, but I think this is so special, and they are so extremely sensitive. They break easy, and there are so less copies known from most of the big titles. You have to buy them in the internet or flow over to the United States to pick them up. I don't know for sure, because I'm not focused on them, but I think the really, really big ones or the really interesting ones you can buy not in Den Bosch.
Okay, this is a question which has room for interpretation. Günther, for us street paupers, tell us an affordable under 100 quid LP that we should acquire. But we have to tear this down. Maybe under 100 euro, prog rock, German first pressing.
Second, third, or fourth embryo LP.
Embryo? I would say it's krautrock. Okay, so I am wrong again.
What did you ask?
I say you thought kraut. I said krautrock. Yeah. No, I said prog rock. But
prog rock, okay.
But man, krautrock. No, okay, embryo. Why not the first? Too expensive, right?
The Opal is, as a first pressing, it has the door cover, and even some have the balloon. I showed you last time. This is unbelievable hard to find. It's even without the balloon, it is super expensive and high on demand. But the second, third, and fourth are also, in my opinion, it's always just my opinion, really, really good. And it should be possible. They are mostly 120 to 130, but this should be possible. With prog rock in general, I'm also not the
expert, right?
Not the expert. Yeah, I would say go to a second press, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
But come on, the first press German,
the German, yes, also
is affordable compared to and this is or another example where probably way more. The first Joy Division Unknown Pleasure, German first pressing.
Yeah, German first pressing is
amazing.
And a Pink Floyd I would never offer because it's not my kind of music. You know this. I think the Dark Side of the Moon is, it's not my cup. So, but a Joy Division, the Unknown Pleasure, or a closer German pressing,
they are fine,
pressing,
right?
yes. Yeah. This would be, a good choice, I think.
Oh, look, Stanti, one of the Embryo guys will be at the fair as usual with Pagita. Okay. Yeah, I remember, Stanti. You're right. You know that? Pagita, you know.
Yeah, I know Pagita, but
also from Düsseldorf, of course.
Yeah, but I don't know.
One of those guys who works there, I think, is from Embryo.
Okay. This is new to me. I have no idea.
It's not all ID. The Zapp. Now it's fun. Now I can introduce you to Günther, to Zapp. Is unbelievable deep into krautrock. He has concert bootlegs from Cannes, and you know they're doing the series from Cannes now with the concerts, and and Zapp provides them with bootleg copies.
Okay,
so he's really deep into it. So what did he say? A lot of the so-called krautrock is not at all. ID call it German progressive rock, but again, bands like Faust, Can, Neu is what I call Kraut, not Eloy, Grobschnitt. Totally agree. Those are Deutsche prog bands in my humble opinion. Yeah, I agree.
I agree too, yeah.
Perfectly put. But yeah, Faust, German or English pressings? English, huh? For the first one. Remember the clear one, the clear vinyl one you had?
Yeah, this is I think the English pressing is for both countries, because I saw English plastic covers exported to Germany with a little sticker and without. I give up actually finding a near mint to mint copy that has nearly no imperfection or defect, because this cover is always seam splits or missing something. So I would prefer for myself the English second pressing in a real laminated cover, white background and the skull fingers on front. I love this more because I don't like the plastic back that are 60 years old. They always look worse. So this would be my cup, and it is 60 euros, and the original in top condition, it's nowadays 250 to 300.
Yeah.
This does not work for me. I don't
make no sense, right?
No. Right? It is something different when you buy a Can Future Days.
Yeah.
A first German pressing has a relic cover. It is haptic, you can touch it. It has an insert, and if you are lucky, it also has a printed inner sleeve, and everything is in really haptic.
So you're also one of those guys who says, come on, great cover shape, condition, the original inner sleeve, and if there has been postcards, posters, balloons or whatsoever, I want it with it.
Then I'm
the record doesn't sound better, but as a collectible, this is it, right?
For me, it was the decision also as CDs came up, not to listen to CDs, because I like the artwork, and for me it doesn't work to have a CD booklet or something like that. So I had always the artwork in my hand and couldn't find out. And sometimes it even helped me, if I didn't like the music, to work between my eyes and ears, and after a while it makes sense to me to have a booklet or something inside, or a postcard, and then I understand more what was behind the music, and after that I started loving it. Or
that what Westex Wax. Günther, you sell truly, he seems to know you. You truly sell a near mint record, something I do not take for granted, since I've bought so many VG LPs graded as near mint from so many lesser sellers. Thank you. I totally second that. I have made so bad experience since I'm trying to get more and more into those originals. Such bad experience. And what I've learned relatively fast, find sellers you trust. You are not in for the biggest deals ever. Of course you won't get a $10 won't get a 100 euro record for 10 euros. Of course not, but you know what you get, you can trust them, and that's on the long run it's cheaper than sending copies back and forth and back and be always disappointed.
Or have the trouble talking to the seller, like, I think it's not VG Plus, it is VG, and he doesn't agree. So I think it is as everywhere. If you're seriously collecting near mint graded records, you have to look not only on the deal, you have to look on the seller, on his profile, on his history, to see what it is the feedback is all about. Many people have 100% feedback, and you get a record and you think, seriously, 100% feedback? I had one experience with you and this is total shit. So feedback is not the same as feedback, but you can get an idea if you look behind the scene. But as a seller, I often have the problem that people buy something from me and then they say, yeah, it's super nice. It's absolutely as graded, but with your feedback and with your input, I was more thinking it is near mint. And then I say, hey, sorry, when I grade VG Plus, you can ask me if it is weak or a good VG Plus. Normally a weak one would be VG, but don't expect I sell a mint record for VG Plus. There is no reason for it.
No, there's
so
not. Yeah.
There are different sides of one problem, but I have good and bad experiences. The bad are mostly when I make what it is called a fish, like, wow, this is too cheap, I buy it, it's near mint, it's from shit, I bought it, maybe it works, and no, it doesn't work.
Of course not.
It was too cheap, the seller was new in the business, the packaging was bad, and he said, yeah, it's new, but has a sticker tier, a seam split, and one corner missing, but it's new.
Yeah.
You say, oh, okay, besides that, it's new.
I have a legendary remembrance. This is missing an edge, but otherwise it's near mint.
Yeah. Or for its age.
Yeah, that's also
in good condition.
For its age, I would say it's near mint.
Yeah.
If you consider that is 60 years, it's near mint.
It's a long-term decision we all knew for many years. So I think look at the object or the record you want and look at the seller and look if he is trustful.
Will you bring the Wailing Whalers to the record fair?
Yes.
You have it. You have them with you here?
No. Okay. You mean the silk-screened one?
Probably. Want to show one?
Okay.
There's a jacket that's smiling at me right now.
How can we start with this?
Yeah, this is a beauty.
This one is
I take it. And
it's my all-time favorite artworks. It's a Japanese band in the vein of early Can. It's called Far Out, and it's their first record. It's not the first pressing. The first pressing had a booklet inside. This is the second pressing without the attached booklet, but it is in like new condition. After that, the band called Far East Family Band, if I'm right. Yeah. This was also in my collection for many, many years, but just because of the artwork. And then I decided I have nearly 920 euros on it, so 900. I don't like the music. It is symphonic rock.
Okay.
It's lacking everything I really, really like. It is super good and intense music with a nice singer, nice guitar work, but it's symphonic rock. I don't listen to symphonic rock. And then I decided I have 5 Can records or 6. That makes it. And this record goes.
But help me out now. We are not talking the first pressing. We are talking a second pressing. What makes this? Okay, I see it. It's in an unbelievable cool condition. Yeah. But a 920 euros, is it that rare? Is it that high in demand? Or both, probably?
Both. When I bought this, I paid nearly the same.
Okay.
Because 10 years ago, it was impossible to find any pressing from the early 2 pressings.
So you almost paid the same 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the first pressing at this time with the attached booklet that also has the hands on it was impossible and between 3,000 and 4,000 euros, but it was not available.
Mm-hmm.
In Den Bosch, I saw 2 copies for 5,000, I think. I can't remember right. Maybe also 4,000. And then I had the chance to buy this in a record shop in Germany. But as the seller put it on the table, unbelievable, 2 customers were coming from the back and said, hey, I want this. Why do you offer us this record to this guy? And he said, shut up. He was first. So I had 2 seconds to decide and I bought it. I was happy with it, but yeah, as I told you, now it can go and it's okay. And now it fell down with the price because first pressings popped up. Now the price for first pressing is more like 1,500 to
Okay.
2,000.
Okay.
I
So
don't
this
know.
happens too, right?
Yes.
Maybe a symphonic rock is dropping down in popularity.
I have no idea. I think it has more to do with hypes or if it gets on demand because people talk about it. It is not always about seriously good music. Most hypes are, for me, not understandable. Even with Sunra, I bought Sunras for 50 to 100 US dollars. And sometimes I had them on eBay in my cart. And I decided for 4 or 5 days if I buy this now for 50 or 100. Now they are 1,000, 2,000. And I think nothing changed, but there's a hype.
Yeah.
I think with Sunra it's okay. He's there where he should have always have been. He was a genius, and the music is so far out. And he started in the 50s, so he gets what he actually deserves. It is okay, but the price is now
Something completely different. You know, I have to deal with really bad people here in my channel. See, read this. Just read this.
Yeah.
Bad. Very, very bad. Oh, I like that question, Liam. Does Günther clean records?
Yes,
Of course he does.
but I have not such a great machine as him, but I'm happy.
If you need it, I
Yeah.
give it to you. A great question. Thank you, Easy Now. Who's your favorite piano player, if you have one?
Mal Waldron.
Okay, why?
Because I have actually no idea what makes a good or a bad piano player, but Mal Waldron has a feeling and ideas I always confirm with. It always touches me, and it's like it's getting in a direction where I think this is new, this is unique, this is something I don't hear. There are many more, but yeah, I have him in mind first. So
okay, interesting. Thank you. How often does the Monks LP turn up in Düsseldorf?
yeah, in the last years, nearly. We talk about the first pressing. I have a second pressing with the white typography in my store, but the first pressing in good condition, I think worldwide impossible nowadays.
Really?
And I heard about serious collectors who offered me for my personal copy 2,000 to 3,000 euros.
You have a personal copy, of course, yes.
Yeah, but
sorry to ask.
It took me 10 years, 12 years. And it was not cheap. It was not a flea market find for €1. It was, but the funny thing, in the week where I bought this for a fair price back in the days, I was at this time I worked as a social worker, and I was with the handicapped on a private flea market from a church. Okay. There was nothing. There was angels for Christmas and stuff like that. But there was an older guy selling his autograph cards.
Okay.
And I was looking through Heino and Roberto Blanco.
Of course.
And then the Monks.
Really?
Signed by all.
And you bought it?
I bought it. And it's not now inside my
Monks
copy. Yeah.
Cool. That's special. Nice question, Angelo, after your snarky comment. As a dealer, do you have a better profit margin on a €100 record or on a €1,000 record?
This depends where the record comes from. Normally, the margin is better with the €1,000 record.
I can imagine it's a larger risk in a way.
Yeah. But sometimes you are lucky. I buy huge collections, 2,000 records for €4,000. They have nothing really special in it, and then you pick them. You dig through it, and then you see, what is this, and you check it, and it's like, wow,
okay,
€100 now, because after the pandemic everything is possible. So it depends.
Okay, come on. A spirit speaks. I take
Yeah.
it. Downgrade. Downgrade.
You all can see I sealed them that Michael cannot downgrade them. So yeah, this is on a really high on demand jazz label on Strata East. Also, to go back to the story before, it is soul jazz with a spiritual feeling. This is really rare because it is originally sealed.
Okay.
It comes from a jazz archive. I had the chance to pick up some records.
We're talking an American pressing here?
Yeah, it's an US first pressing from 1974. It is the original first pressing. And not only it is sealed, you can see it is also mint.
Yeah.
Because sealed does not mean mint when the corners are broken or something like that. All
that
is sharp. It is like new. It, in my opinion, it's also a good price, but you have to decide. So,
when you are at Den Bosch and you put those on your wall, probably, right? How does the collector say, oh, you have this, I take this? Or do you have to do explanation what makes this so? Or are there many collectors? Oh, you have the spirit speaker, the spirit speaks in mint and sealed. I want this. Or do you have to do explanation when you know somebody who is into this and you look at this? How does this work?
Different sellers, different behaviors, different buyers, different behaviors. If someone comes to me and starts like, this is a total shit record, but I want it, it's like. I mostly say, yeah, then leave it here. It's okay, but it depends on if he has it on his want list, for as an example, and he now sees it in sealed. There's only one point to say: is the price correct? But in this price range, you don't start on a fair to explain why this is great.
Yeah, okay.
This is too expensive for this. The people have to know first and then to know if it is correct. Most people who collect this rare stuff, they have the price history in mind. They know it even better than me.
Isn't there a Spike Lee connection to that record?
Yes, I think so. But to be honest, I can't remember. There was something.
Maybe Calvin knows because there is a huge knowledge in this group. Trust me, there is huge knowledge. Maybe you can remember Günther. That would be great. Oh, Boo Boo, great question. What is Günther's favorite city to look for records?
My really favorite city is New York. But the internet, I don't name some websites, but changed anything. But before the hype was in the internet, so 10 years ago, New York was unbelievable. I had the chance.
I think Stanti says Tokyo.
Nowadays it's Tokyo, but I cannot talk about it. I haven't been there. And back in the days, I collected punk records, and what I found and saw in New York, it was out of my mind. I come from punk, yes.
Yeah, I know, but New York is good for punk.
I bought stuff there. Till 15 years, I haven't seen.
Okay, wow.
Even sealed stuff like the first Black Flag with the unicorn label and the parental advice sticker. I bought there in sealed. But it was a little bit before the big internet thing, and so I have this in mind, yeah. But Tokyo should be amazing. Many people tell me this. But I like traveling around, even through Belgium, the Netherlands, France. I like it. So there are many opportunities to buy great records.
Great question again. How do you catalog, organize your collection? Basic question.
Yeah. First, I have genres. And inside the genres, I have alphabetically ordered. That's it.
Okay.
Not
by color of the spine.
No. Okay. Even not. I do not put all Impulse records together or all Blue Notes. I don't have that much.
You don't do that?
No.
How couldn't you?
No. Because I want to grab them instantly when I want to listen to them, and then I remember the name of the artist.
And I now will ask the most stupidest but still most interesting question. How many records do you have?
I have 1,000 LPs over 100 Saturn Sunras and
What?
500 Punk 7 inches. That's it.
You have 100 Sandra records?
Over, yeah.
Originals, of course.
Yeah, but I started buying these right before the hype, so...
but this is serious.
Yeah. I'm missing 8, so if anyone brings me for trade one of the missing ones...
Which one are you missing?
I would love to have Antique Blacks from Sunra. I would love, this is impossible, Jazz by Sunra.
Why is it
Jazz in Silhouette.
Why is it impossible?
The first 100 of the first press was silk screened.
Yeah.
Mid-50s and have a booklet. So I have the regular first press or the regular second. It is not really clear written.
Yeah.
So I want the first pressing with the silk screened sleeve. I need the Supersonic Jazz, the first cover. Yeah, blues and that kind that is blue. I'm missing one variant. So,
but we are again talking about serious prices. I can imagine 1950 silk screen.
Yes.
With book.
This is the reason why I didn't have the chance to trade or buy it. I think nowadays this is impossible. Antique Blacks is 1,000 to 1,500, but it doesn't pop up often. I missed last week an auction on eBay. It was nice. It ended up with $1,500, but I missed it to bid on it. So,
do you have the 10-inch 78 from 1932 of Sunra?
No.
Stunty, do you have it? Kamstaka 75 mini group is my fave in Hamburg. Okay.
I heard about them and I'm connected on Instagram and it looks amazing what they are doing. Yeah.
From Power On. Beautiful jacket. Amazing jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that is at the moment is high on demand. It is, in my opinion, also soul fusion jazz.
You gotta be kidding me now.
You asked for it, you got it. So
beautiful.
Yeah, super beautiful cover.
Yeah.
It is also involved in the German art scene from the 60s, 70s. It is a fusion jazz record. This is the reason it is not my cup. It is not straight, but it has electric piano. Yeah, it is an amazing record. If you are into fusion and soul jazz, I'm not. So
Günther sells it.
So, and now I show you something.
Yeah, from Düsseldorf.
I'm really into. This is the most rare regular pressing from Joseph Beuys. And this is the record where he only says, yeah, nee, yeah, nee. This is hand numbered to 500. It has a gatefold cover with great artwork from Joseph Beuys. What makes this really interesting and really collectible is it is mentioned in the art catalog from Joseph Beuys as a multiple.
How much?
1,500.
Take it.
And
doesn't go to Den Bosch now.
Okay, I have a second copy. Yeah, one more.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Here we have also something really strange. It nearly is under the radar and impossible to find. It's a German band called Kaputter Hamster.
Okay. Broken. What is hamster in English?
Kaputter.
Not a rat, not rabbit, not a rat, not a mice.
Help us. Squid, no,
Squirrel?
Squirrel. No, they are not hamsters. Doesn't matter. So the music is a little bit far out, freak out, amateurish guitar rock with a charm. This also has a 6-page insert that is even rarer than this pressing. Yeah, it is really high on demand for only a few in the world, but it is, I don't know yet what I put on it, but it is really expensive.
Hey, come on, give us a range here.
2,500, 3,000.
Wow, so serious price.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, but as I said, it is super expensive, super rare, but maybe there are 20 people in the world or 30 who want this record. I don't know.
But they really want it then,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Here's another private one from, this time it is from Düsseldorf, Together. It is a duo. I think it's killer artwork. I love it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's also, you see, 1,500 euros. Yeah, it is also a little bit strange and a little bit amateurish. Yeah, I have this one. Thanks for the offer. I have this one, a top copy with the booklet, but thank you for...
That's how you should take it. You can write, this is touched.
Yeah. I would do that if I can raise the price up. So.
No, you can't. You can't.
Yeah. I'll show you some more. Here is something also special, a Jamaican pressing on Studio One. This is the first pressing from Duke's Incorporation Part 2. Part 1 was also the same cover with a third person in the middle and Part 1 on it. It's silk screened in Jamaica.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And even for a Jamaican pressing in a good condition.
Come on.
And yeah, I love the handmade character, the silk screen style, beautiful. And also the simple artwork. Yeah. So that's the musician behind this is dub specialist.
Okay.
He had for
which year? You know,
early 70s, mid 70s, and he had for all his silk screen and self-release or Studio One releases, he had different names and silk screen covers. Great one, great artwork. So.
Cool. Oh, look, you have, Angela, if you want some of those, just tell me. I'm not kidding. He is really into records, trust me. Okay, I have seen a great question. Yeah, of course, you know, when you are with vinyl community channels, there always be questions about which band? The Beatles.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Can Günther point me in right direction for German Beatles pressing? You mean in Den Bosch, which dealers? Probably, right? Any ideas who has?
I don't know. There's one guy, he's telling everybody, even the guys who didn't ask, he's the biggest collector in the world, and he's an older guy, hard to handle. I like him. I think he is best in informations and about pressings, but I'm not seriously sure that he will be in Den Bosch. But come to my booth, maybe I can direct you when I see him.
We will all
Beatles and the big names is always easy. It's not I'm not specialized in this, but it's easy to find something for you.
Yeah. You know what's quite popular in the US? The Herzu pressings.
Yeah, and I like them. I also have Revolver on Herzu.
There is a Herzu of Revolver?
Yeah, it has added the artwork on the bottom.
I didn't know that. You like it?
Yeah. They are mostly laminated, super nice and quiet pressings. They are affordable. Price is okay, and it's possible to find in near mint condition.
Here in Germany.
Yeah. If a record was not limited, I love to have it in like new, even if it is 60 years old. And this is possible with German Herzu, and it is impossible for UK first pressings or stuff like this. So.
Günther, are you excited that David Jalou is coming back to the fair?
Not really.
Okay. CDM knew it with the Herzu. Okay, superlative. What was the most? We want to do a video about it, right? Or was that a different record?
I sold, and the video we do is something I will sell.
Right. Okay. So far, the most expensive record you ever sold so far. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. It was last 6 months ago in Den Bosch. I sold The Stack, a private psych record from the United States. I bought with the Shacks together in this collection. To be honest, it was a part trade, a part cash, but this was by far the most expensive record I ever had, and yeah, I gave away. Now you ask me, what price?
Shall I ask what price?
It's not clearly to point, but it was, my asking price was 8,000, and I got more
Due to
because
the
of the
trade.
trade. So in my billings, it was now 10,000. Yeah, but because of the
That's
trade.
serious.
This,
money.
yeah.
For a record,
Yeah.
that's serious. Would then Bosch be a good place to find BG Plus or better condition PF Pink Floyd grades like Dark Side A2B2 or Wish You Were Here first pressing? Good deals to be had or too expensive due to demand there?
I think both records are so high on demand even after the 50-year jubilee, and at the moment you have to be lucky to find someone who say, okay, it's mint, but I make it cheap, because everybody wants it.
Okay, it's mint, but I make it cheap. No, I don't think you will hear that.
No,
it's not very likely.
And this is something. If you are specialized in something, you can be lucky when you find a seller who has a gravy train and is not into prog music or something like that. And he said, I don't care about this, give it away. But Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, every seller from 42 or older know this record, know that everybody wants it. So at the moment, right time. Maybe you are lucky, but I cannot.
Not very likely to be lucky.
No.
Yeah, you can be lucky when you go through a thrift store in a way. Every 3,000 times.
Yeah, but I done this for many years, and after making a line and say what was it worth to spend thousands of hours?
Thank you so much, because how expensive is a Dark Side of the Moon first pressing when I pay €1 for it in the thrift store, but I have to go there 800 times for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Imagine how expensive or what I could have done in that time.
And back in the days, it was a gamble that was on the good side. There was no internet, or nearly no.
Yeah.
I started right before eBay, and there was no price. There was a record seller who said, this is $100. You have to trust him, and mostly they fucked you up, or you found out after a while.
I covered this topic with Stunty. Yeah. We did a video about Discogs, and he stated, and that's of course true. You saw cool records in stores before for the internet and said, oh, it's €400. And when Discogs came, so all of a sudden it was an €80 record.
Yes, sometimes.
And vice versa.
But vice versa, yeah. But for this reason, my record shop is analog. Everything you find in my shop is not on the internet. And everything you found on my Discog shop is not in my record shop, because I want to separate both. So you can be lucky. Some DJ came in my store, bought a record for €20 without a reason. He came back and he said to me, didn't check this? And I said, no. And he said, oh, thank you. I said, yeah, this is what it is all about. This was what the fire I had that burned for me after years. And so I wanted not to connect the digital and the analog live. So it is possible. Not as always, it is not common in my shop, but you find something that is not available 24 hours, 7 days a week in the whole wide world. It is available in this moment for you in my shop, or you go to my Discogs and get serious other stuff. So, and this is what I like, because when I dig through records and I know they are now for 2 years on Discogs, there's no reason to buy them there, even if they made them 10 or 20% cheaper. No. So you want to have this fire, you have this moment, you want to have this moment like, this is now my chance. And not tomorrow, not every time, it's now or never. So
Daniel wants to know about your favorite new artists, if there are any.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm really into Fire Orchestra. It is guided by Mats Gustafsson, a Scandinavian saxophone player. I was also there last week. He played with Joachim Nordwall from Skull Defects, and who also runs a great label. It is worth checking out. It is Fire and what is the sign for Ausrufezeichen?
Lightning? Oh, come on, question mark. Question mark is a Fragezeichen.
Fire Orchestra, check this out with Mats Gustafsson.
Two Germans are trying their best.
I think it is combining everything, improvisation, free jazz, but also the spiritual taste of the 70s with a large ensemble. It's not uncommon like the latest Sunra. It's amazing.
The upcoming 3 LP Fire album is insanely good.
That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. I mean, the artwork, the box, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the hit tip. Another interesting question. We talked about this. Remember when your car broke? How do you get rid of records that you don't want to sell in your store? This is a big problem in your business, I think. Yes. Buying collections to get the good stuff and having so many records. What do you do? How do you handle this?
I can just say after 25 years, I have channels for everything.
Exclamation point. Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah. So I gave cheap stuff in a bunch to another seller. I throw them away. I have an archive for stuff that is worse, but I have no customer for. So yeah. And important is to fix this every moment you buy and not to put it all in a garage. And I do it later, then you have work for years to do. So I just finished to clean my archive. Yeah. It took me and my employee 4 or 5 years.
Okay. You know what? Be so kind. You show a record, I grab you another water.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, we talked about Sunra, and so I not bring one of the rarest, but I bring one nice one. This is Sunra and his orchestra Rose Hill Mansions, recorded in 1980. I try to show it to you. Here we go. Rose Hill Mansions. This is from the beginning of the late era Sunras with the paste-on slicks. So you have many variations with front and back paste-ons and also colored labels. This one is also nice. It has a Saturn label and is hand colored. You see really simple, futuristic Egyptian artwork, hand-colored labels. Yeah, these are nowadays also impossible to find cheap. So this has also a big price tag on it because it
Sunra, right?
Yeah, it had both paste-ons and it's hand-colored.
Wow.
Yeah. So
where did you get this one, if I may ask?
I bought it from another seller.
Okay.
I just bought it also a few years ago.
So you're connected amongst each other, and you know, okay, this seller is good for Sunra. Okay, I have here this Blue Notes. He has customers for, and then you exchange a lot. Huh? That makes sense,
this is super important because you have a lot of high price stuff coming in or trading. Then you find out after 1 year, I do not have the customers for it.
Yeah.
And if Michael doesn't buy them, so I try to trade. Yeah.
Oh, and then, guys, you really have great questions. Thank you so much. What's your guilty pleasure? Bay City Rollers? You have a guilty pleasure?
I grow up with guilty pleasure means weak point.
No. You know, I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, okay.
Or Lana Del Rey. In a way, that's a guilty pleasure. In a way.
Yeah. I grow up with German left-wing worker music.
Okay.
Like early Hannes Wader.
Yes.
And Klaus Hoffmann, and not
Wolf Biermann.
And also
Angelo Kelly.
And I have to be honest, every here and there I listen to them, but most likely before my parents died, also my father. So I'm what is the greatest gift of music? I'm totally redirected to my childhood and to my father. Sometimes I think strange lyrics, strange music, a little bit too more folk, but yeah, then I'm back with my father. He played guitar and I'm singing as a child. And so this is maybe something you can find out when you come to the record shop and some really strange German folk music is playing, and people will say like, oh, it's not a 70-year-old guy running this store. He seems to be younger, but okay. So this is my
But come on, guys.
Reinhard May. Yeah.
German left-wing worker music as a guilty pleasure. That's special. That's really special.
Yeah, maybe these are the wrong words, but it was
No,
in
but
Germany.
I love it. I love
Die Friedensbewegung.
Yeah, I remember. Of course, I remember.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah.
Günther, do you know about the mysterious Love Cry Want recording with Larry Young, specifically who the guitarist was? Okay, now we are getting deep, right?
No.
It's not ChatGPT.
Sorry, no idea.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Could you please provide Günther's YouTube Discogs link? Such a fascinating...
many things.
Günther, on Instagram, you are Minty Vinyl?
Yeah, Minty.
I will put the links.
Minty minus vinyl, and the same on Discogs.
On Discogs too, right?
Yeah. But on Instagram, you see the more interesting and more rare records. Mostly I don't put them on Discogs. Discogs is from the standard range to also high price stuff. But follow me on Instagram is maybe also interesting because
you show this
stuff you see here today.
Yeah. And you also answer questions over at Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes I give inside view, but mostly all the other people I'm connected and know mostly better than me. So it's more like, yeah, no, you know this, and yeah, I had the same idea. And so we
ever thought about a YouTube channel?
No.
Okay. One record? No, two records.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two more records. And then we do another 10 minutes of questioning. And then we leave Günther to Den Bosch. He has tough time ahead of him. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, perfect.
Two records and 10 minutes of questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
Here is something special.
Stanti. Nurse with Wound.
This is the first record and the first pressing. Here you see it is hand number to 500. There are bootleg pressings, easily to identify. They have always a printed and always the same number. I don't have it in mind, but you see on my copy it is
256.
It is here. There you see that is handwritten.
Yeah.
It is also a laminated cover. The bootleg isn't laminated, and when you are lucky, there is also the Nurse with Wound list inside. Where no, with this one not. I can photocopy on demand from my copy. This is
so you have the copy with the list.
Yeah, this is
this is why he is a collector.
Yeah.
And this is of course something great. You know, I like with Dave from the OG. It's the same. He's also a collector since decades, and from my little experience so far, but the record dealers that are also serious collectors, they are the best. Also when it comes to information, the stories behind it, the details. That's what counts for me a lot.
I agree, but also my problem is that I keep my hands on stuff. So I think as a collector, I love sellers more who don't belong to their records or are not really on fire because they say, it's a rare record, but I don't need it. For me, it's often like, wow, I have this in the collection, and some of my customers says, yeah, I want this, and I said,
no, it's mine.
At the moment, it's mine, and this can.
We have had that.
I know. This can really be annoying.
That's true. I was totally
I know. This is my weak point.
Yeah.
This is my weak point. But I cannot be that good or on this level without having the fire burning. So.
Interesting. Stanti, of course, he has a copy. I told you he's into Nurse with Wound like nobody else, and he has it signed by him to him. And he said the bootleg is indeed easy to spot, but also super rare. This is interesting.
I cannot agree. I had many possibilities to buy, or I had it often and was like, It's a bootleg. So
So this is rarer.
yes,
Okay.
I would say. And beside now the new rules on the internet platforms, the bootlegs are banned. So maybe this makes it
For
rare
quite
again.
some time now.
Yeah.
Right? For
So
quite
you
some
cannot
time.
you cannot easy sell them or buy them. So this makes it maybe rare again, but I think they are not on demand. So
yeah, me too, James. Me too. Totally agree.
thank you. Last one. Yeah, this is something I really, really love. It is from the Ethiopian quartet, the Afro-Latin Soul, is Mulatu Astatke. It is a first US pressing on Worthy Records. It is in dream condition, what not means that it plays near mint, because it is a crackly and
talking 1966.
cheap pressing. To be really honest, this is not the most wanted Mulatu Astatke. Everybody heard Mulatu Astatke through the Jim Jarmusch movies, I think, even me and my wife. And these are records who were represented on the cinema were not on this record. I think one or two tunes in a different kind. Also, again, this has a lot of soul, and it's a little bit too rhythmic and not too far out. So I let this also go. Expect a crackly VG plus audio.
But how high are the chances for a record like this that you really find a not crackly?
It does not exist.
It does not exist, right?
It's a pressing. I have to be honest, I bought this and I wanted to return it to the seller I bought it from because of the crackling. But then I thought to myself, don't be a stupid idiot. It is 60 years old. I looked at the groove. They were not destroyed. They were not blank, nothing. It was not played often.
Shall we clean it with the Claudio later?
There is nothing to clean, believe me.
Okay.
It is clean and shiny.
It's just the vinyl.
It's just the vinyl that makes crackles. I think it was cheap vinyl pressed, and maybe
Okay, now last round of questions, if there are any. Good question from Elvis. Do you have only rare records in your shop?
No, definitely not. In my shop, you find, in the normal record shop that is analog and not digital, you find records from 5 to 50 euros. And if you make an appointment with me, I have the internet shop based on my record shop. It's in a different room. There starts the nightmare for 100 plus records and the Discogs records. So you find well organized and on a really small space, 2 record shops in one. So
true. Yeah. Very important question. Does Günther enjoy a beer while listening?
Yes, but alcohol free. I don't drink alcohol.
See, question answered. Have you ever held a copy of Ethio Jazz?
No, it's on my want list.
What makes it so rare? Why is it?
I've never seen a copy in real life. I just saw a few on eBay or something. But it is in a price range versus the condition. I did not grab it. Now, so.
Jose Moreno Ran, he has a record label. He's from Mexico with a German mother, right, Jose? And he wants to know if you have any Latin American rare records in your collection.
No, I don't think so. No.
Question answer. Yeah, I think he answered that. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I collect punk 45s. I also have a few from Sun-Ra, a few from John Coltrane, some of the Smog or Sonic Youth or Melvins, but mostly early Killed by Death punk rock.
Günther, do you have all the indie records of the 90s that you want, or are you still missing some?
No, I'm not missing any.
You have the Melancholy?
I had it and I sold it because it's totally not my cup.
Okay.
It is more like an indie
Nirvana.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe I would love to have a bleach white vinyl US first pressing with poster, but prices are ridiculous at the moment, and so it's okay. I have a German, and a Tupelo UK pressing, top condition. I'm fine.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. It was a very lively, beautiful discussion, I think, with great questions from all of you. Günther, you showed unbelievable stuff. I'm proud. Really, really cool. I think a lot of those records have never been shown on YouTube, I can imagine. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, but there are a lot of serious sellers in Den Bosch where you will find stuff like this.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah.
So I wanted your attention, so I made something special.
You got our attention, I promise you. And we will see you on Den Bosch with some of the OBC guys and girls. And then
Thank you, Michael.
And then we go on.
Yeah.
And I hope we see you again here on my channel.
Hopefully. Thanks a lot. Thank you all for
Winston, no problem. I keep the stream on. Just watch it. Danke. See you. Bye.